What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah, and you're watching this video on Sunday, September 7th, 2025 at 10:50 a.m. MST. This week, Bev is my extra, and I am the ordinary. Bev, I don't know you all that well, but I'm so glad that God had grace on my life to encourage you and to pour His love into your heart. Getting to meet you, minister to you, and celebrate our Father's goodness together was amazing. Friends, if you haven't seen last week's video, I'll link it up somewhere above. You go back and watch it. It has a lot of the details to get you to why I was at a funeral of a person that I didn't know. But the short of it is, as I was heading out to the friend's celebration of him starting his business, God pulled me into the funeral of a man I didn't even know and said to raise the dead. I went into the funeral, was sitting in the service and asking him, what are we doing here? Why did you call me in here? And as I began to pray for people and encourage people, I realized that God hadn't called me there to raise the dead. He called me there to raise the dead. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch last week's video. Again, link somewhere here in this video screen. But towards the end of the funeral, I started to get the sense that what I had to do at the funeral was coming to an end. I was getting ready to leave, and being a military funeral, the officiant of the funeral said, we'll now have the presentation of the flag. As I went to stand up, the honor guard walked in through the only door out of the sanctuary, and there was no way that I was going to leave the funeral and step on this moment of honor. It was a beautiful ceremony to be a part of, and these two young women who led the flag presentation got the flag, pulled it off the top of the casket, and as they began to fold the flag, God said, count the folds in the flag. I began to count the folds in the flag, and as they folded each time with the flag, got to the end, and there was a total of 13 folds. During the whole ceremony of the flag folding and presentation, my mind went into a hyper speed of detail. How they pulled it off of the casket, that they moved forward just a little bit before they started folding the flag, that they folded it into its triangles, and that when they got to the end, that the soldier who was on the opposite end of the flag was holding it tucked in the face, and the other soldier looking straight ahead folded each section of the flag with machine-like precision without even looking, and then turned the flag, handed it to the other soldier. The other soldier held the flag and pulled it in tight. Every element, even to this day, is burned into my memory. At the end of the flag presentation, the officiant said, you're now free to leave. I was in the last row. He said, we're going to dismiss everyone, beginning with the front rows, moving to the back. As I was leaving, I began to hear people on the other side of the sanctuary saying, my goodness, who is that person? I don't know that person. They're really tall. You'd think I would remember them if they were that tall. Like, oh no. I snuck out of the funeral, got to my car, and didn't burn rubber out of the parking lot, but made sure that I got out of the parking lot before the funeral procession left. As I drove to meet up with my friend Josh, I began to talk with the Lord. Why did we do that? I hadn't had the conversation with him yet about raise the dead. Raise the dead is definitely different than raise the dead. It's important to listen to what God's saying, not what you think He's saying. But as I prayed through what we were doing, before I went in to see my friend Josh, I Googled to see if anyone else knew that there were 13 folds in a flag, if that was a thing, and found out it's very definitely a thing. And each fold has a meaning associated to it. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Still don't know why you invited me in there. I went into the hangar where my friend Josh and a bunch of friends were, and as I walked through the door, my friend Josh was saying, so that's the vision of what God has me up to. All right, let's go ahead and pray. Hey, Elijah, welcome. I'll catch you up later. I was feeling so ridiculous. I was feeling out of place, embarrassed that I had showed up to my friend's business dedication late. So all these people in a circle, we gathered, and Josh then said, everybody begin to pray, prophesy as you want to. And we went into a time of ministry, of just blessing God and thanking him for what he was doing in our friend Josh's life, asking for further direction still. As I was praying, God said, count the people in the circle. And I was like, all right. So I started counting 1, 2, 3, 4. As I'm going around the circle, I told God, if there's 13 people in this circle, I get to the end and 11, 12 people. I'm like, well, I guess that wasn't it. And God says, count again, that woman is pregnant. I think, oh no. I count all the people in the circle again, and there's 13 people in the circle. I'm thinking, this is wonderful. Oh, wow, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Everyone had words of encouragement or prophecies for Josh and his partner and their new business. And after everyone was done, everyone just was getting ready to leave the circle. I said, hold on, I have a question. I looked at Josh and I said, Josh, have you ever been in the military? He said, no. Does the number 13 mean anything to you? No. At this point, I decided to keep pressing in. I didn't know what God was up to, but I just told the group why I was late. So I was coming here. God told me to go into a funeral. I did. He told me to count the number of folds in a flag. It was a military funeral, and there was an honor guard. And then I asked, do you know how many folds there are in a flag at a flag presentation ceremony? And Josh's partner, Bev, across their circle says, there's 13. Why do you ask? I said, that's right. How do you know that? Bev says, I was in the honor guard in the Air Force, and I went to numerous, hundreds. I have to verify with him, but I think he said thousands of flag presentations at funerals of fallen soldiers. And in that moment, God imparted grace to me, and I started prophesying over Bev's life, prophesying that honor would come to him, and that all of the funerals that he attended and released honor to others, but had to be so stoic and strong for them, that the Lord's care and compassion would come back to him, that God would bless him in his latter years, and that he would receive honor in the land of the living from men surrounding him, much like David, and that in the latter years of his life would be some of the greatest years of ministry that he would ever get to see. The beautiful part of the prophecy over his life was that I wasn't at the beginning of the vision sharing. I didn't know anything of the story, and I didn't know that Bev had recently retired from his career as a commercial airline pilot, and that he was wrestling with a sense of what was the latter years of his life going to be, what was his vision in ministry. And all of a sudden this 6'7" numbskull runs into the hangar late with an impartation of grace at the very place that he needed it the most. Friends, it was such a wonderful encouragement that after the time was over of prayer, and that Bev and I talked together, that we just celebrated in the goodness of God, his grace, his goodness, his love to coordinate so many random details and to call me into a funeral, and that I had the faith to listen to God and to go into a funeral of a person I didn't even know, to engage the awkwardness and to continue listening in a space to hear what God was calling me to do, such that God could touch one man's life with an expression of his love. Friends, my encouragement to you is that you would listen to whatever it is that God is calling you to do. Like with Extraordinary Life with Elijah, that clear back on March 17th of oh, it was so long ago, I can't even remember now. 17, 18, somewhere in there where God gave me the vision of extraordinary life with Elijah in the night. And I stepped out with him and continued to consistently and persistently and insistently create these videos, launching them out into the future, into who knows what and why, that God was in control of my steps to get me to this point with you. As we listen to God by His Spirit, and that we walk by faith, not by sight, that God has amazing adventures with us, that He has works for us to do, that we can make an appearance in a place and destroy the works of the devil, that we can outpace the devil in what he's doing, even though it looks like he's winning, that we can step into our turn, and that in that humble obedience, that we can walk with God in such a way that we can release supernatural impartations of His messages of love and redemption and salvation and deliverance to the people that we come into contact with. One of the most powerful and simple ways to grow into a powerful faith is through day by day, moment by moment obedience oriented to love for the Father. As you go throughout your day, my encouragement to you is that you would listen to what the Father is saying and say it. Watch what the Father is doing and do it. And out of your deep love for Him, in your obedience, you will establish His will and His kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. If you subscribe to what I'm doing, then hit the button, hit it, and then get it. Hit the bell as well so you get notified with the new content. And if you loved this video, you didn't just like it, hit the thumbs down button. Pray blessings on our lives together. I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next video, which starts now. 15 minutes, 16 seconds. I need to rearrange a few things because Jamin, Uriah, and I are going to make a video now. That's the name we went with, Jamin Uriah. Like I said last week, I didn't have a name. Jamin was born March 1st, 2022. Oh, such a beautiful story. Maybe I can tell that to you sometime, but I'm gonna set up some more equipment, go grab him, and be right back. Oh my. Oh, Mr. Jamin, it's okay. Oh boy. Hopefully you keep sleeping. Oh, you tired little guy. Oh yeah. This is Mr. Jamin. We'll see how he does for the video. Time to go there, little buddy. Yeah, you just keep sleeping. It's okay. Oh, man. Oh, are you going to be a happy boy? Okay. Maybe Daddy will pick you up like this. I'll pat your rumps while I talk. There you go, little man. Oof, you're so cute. You precious little boy. What's up, fam? Extraordinary Life with Elijah. And today, Jamin is my extra and I am the ordinary.